I'm on. My mic is live. Hey, this is KUAW Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom with, and this is the Truth Be Told with myself, T Baby. Oh, look at my shirt. Dang. I should know about doing that. Yeah, now I'm in front of a green screen. But anyway, so if you have a business or an event that you would like sponsor here on KUAW, make sure to send us the email at kuaw985@gmail.com. If you want to call in anytime but during this live broadcast, feel free to give us a phone call, 816-599-6893. That number is scrolling at the top of your screen. So again, I would love for you guys to call in and comment, talk with me. We are available 24/7 on the World Wide Web. That's www.kuaw.org. If you're watching me live on Facebook, hey. And if you're listening to me over the air via TuneIn or the website and you would like to watch me live, hop over to our Facebook page, KUAW-LPFM 98.5. Or YouTube, just KUAW Radio. Make sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube. And we are available on all social media networks. So KUAW, search us, like us, share us. Make sure you like this video, share this video. Appreciate everyone tuning in so far. We are having a fundraiser going on right now. So if you feel it on your heart to sow a seed of love, even if it's just $1, $5, $10, we appreciate you. You can donate via our Facebook page, our website, and you will win a CD pack, 10 discs or 10 songs, a 10-song music pack. So if you like it's jazz, Paul George. So if you like jazz or you know someone that like jazz, I know my auntie like jazz. Then yeah, make sure you donate, drop your email, we'll send it out to you. We appreciate you and I thank you guys in advance. Okay, so now that I got all of that out the way. Of course we all woke up to some devastating news of what happened to what's the name? Jacob Blake. Okay, make sure I say that right. And if you don't know, he was shot 7 times in the back by a police officer. It was 2 police officers that were put on leave following this incident. He did survive. I seen a post today that said that he was paralyzed from the waist down. It was some protests that happened. I don't even know how to say the name of the city that it was in, but I think it was in Wisconsin somewhere. And they were burning up cars and buildings, and I didn't see anything about a lot of looting or anything, but I did see they were setting some stuff on fire or whatever. And I had seen a couple of different posts on my Facebook today. Like one was talking about his record. Like, y'all know that's the first thing that people go to because he did have an active warrant. According to what I seen, he had an active warrant for some crazy charges. You know what I'm saying? And the person that posted it was like, I wouldn't be out protesting for him or protesting for this. You know what I'm saying? Just because of what his record has said and everything like that. And here's the thing. We're really not, with the protests and everything like that, it's really not protesting for that individual per se. In my mind, this is how I look at it. I'm just gonna state that because this is the truth be told. So I'm letting you know this is in my opinion. It's more so the fact that police do not have the right to have a license to kill. You're not licensed to kill. So just because I'm not saying that a person shouldn't comply, or especially if they know they're in the wrong and everything like that, that kind of goes into another conversation that we're gonna have today. But at the same time, police don't have the right to play God. They don't have the right to just kill you, or try to kill you. Like if a normal citizen was to do some things like that, we would be prosecuted, you know what I'm saying, with attempted murder, assault with a deadly weapon, like all kind of things, you know what I'm saying? So it's like they need to be held to the same standard. I seen a YouTube that I was watching that said that police need to like be insured, like for instance, what that mean is they should have to be licensed basically, and you should be able to lose your license at the end of the day. And the way the man put it is like, is your hatred for me more then the love for your family to be able to provide for your family and everything like that, like, you know, your livelihood, like there needs to be some consequences for these things because you don't have the right to do this, you know what I'm saying? And he was talking about it's like a legislation that had to be passed and everything like that, and that is something that I would really want to research, and I encourage you guys to research it too, because that's legit, like that's right. When you have something to lose, you know what I'm saying? Like right now, the police just out here doing whatever it is they want to do, and they getting vacations. You know what I'm saying? It's like they getting rewarded for the things that they doing. It's like if it was some repercussions for what it is that's really gonna hit you, you know what I'm saying? Where it is, I know, of course, we want to see them locked up and all the things, but the thing about it is, I want you to think before you do it. You know what I'm saying? I want you to think about it. Like, think about your actions. Like, is it worth it? Like, at the end of the day, man, it's like we gotta force when it comes to Europeans, and I hate to say it like this because I'm not trying to be racist, you know. Like I gotta make that statement, fact, like make that clear. I'm not trying to be racist, but when it comes to Europeans, it's like we have to teach them, just like we as a people have to learn how to love instead of hate. We have to teach them that as well. You know what I'm saying? Because they come from a hateful place. Like and this is just history, you know what I'm saying? And like I tell people this all the time, is like we have to be able to accept facts. Like it's facts over feelings, you know. It's like, yeah, we want to be compassionate, love everybody, this and that, but that does not change the facts of the matter. You know, when you look at history or whatever, it's just the whole concept of everything that ever since we took them out of the dark ages. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. That's history. Like, just like we taught them all the things that we had to teach them then, how to bathe, how to separate themselves from the animals and things like that, how not to be beastly like people, you know, we gonna have to reinforce love. You know, like, and it's easier with the it's easier with the millenniums, the generations that's coming, you know, younger and younger, because they're more integrated, you know, with the culture. It's really, I mean, is that the way to say it? That's really how I feel. They're more integrated with the culture. Like, I remember going to college, you know, 14 years ago, when I was going to college. I just took my sister to college, dropped her off this past weekend. I'm just like, dang, you know, this was me 14 years ago, you know. But, you know, like 14 years ago, when I met my roommate, you know, I never forget her, Teresa Miller. I know her, I would never forget her, you know, but she was like always kind of like real shy, like just to herself, you know, like around me. And one day, you know, I just sat down, just how to have a conversation, like, what's up? No, we happen to have a class together. And so, you know, when we start studying and doing homework and everything, and she's really got to know me and stuff, and I was just like, and I asked her, like, why you seem so uncomfortable? You know what I'm saying? And she was like, I've never been around like you, like your people. You know, she was from a small little Missouri town. She just didn't know. She would say everything that I thought or imagined. It's like, you're nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's nothing that, you know, just like, because we got to understand that they are taught just as well. When I think about the movie The Birth of a Nation, oh my God, that movie was so disgusting. And then I think about, like, this was the movie that they were showing their children, like raising them up. Like, this is the mindset, the programming, and every, like that, see, our brains, and we suffer from the same thing. Just like how I was talking about last week, how I was talking about, when we hear low income or, these type of terms, do we automatically associate that there's someone's talking about us? You know what I'm saying? And it's a programming. And so we got to understand that our minds are like computers, and they have motherboards. You know what I'm saying? Like, the motherboard in this computer is everything that, how this computer works, how this computer functions, like all the programs and apps and everything that are on the computer, how it runs smoothly, making sure the memory, like everything is all held within the memory board of a computer. The RAM, is that what it's called? I believe that's what it's called, something like that. But because I ain't claiming to just be no like technical genius or anything like that. I just said, but our minds work the same way, and we have to go through a reprogramming. Like I say this all the time, because we have been taught certain things. We have been conditioned certain ways to look at ourselves certain ways, to look at our people certain ways, you know. So when we interact with each other, when we have conversations with each other, we are more and this is kind of moves into the next thing that I want to go into when it talks about talk about communication and everything, because it's about trust. You know, when you really trust someone that you're having a conversation with, you're more so having a conversation with them. You're not talking at them. You're more so listening to understand. And a conversation is I'm stating, you know, my opinion or whatever, my facts and everything, and I'm also listening to yours with the ideal in mind that can grow my understanding from something that you have to offer. So it's like you have something to gain out of the conversation, you know what I'm saying, versus talking at where I just want you to understand what I'm saying and either agree or, you know what I'm saying, just knowledge that you understand it or whatever, but it's no real concept of growth or comprehension in a conversation. And so that comes with like active listening, right? And so active listening, there was something, it's something that we need to understand so that we are able to teach our children coming up at a younger age. And it's not something that you have to develop as an adult, you know what I'm saying? Because I gotta quit saying that. My daddy just told me about that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm sorry. But but so you have to be able to want to understand what someone is saying. See, a lot of times we listen to reply instead of listening to comprehend or understand what someone is saying. You know what I'm saying? We're just in our mind, we already got what we want to say next. We got what we want to say back. Like we're listening, but we're surface listening. You know what I'm saying? And so we have to practice that, and it's a reprogramming, you know, it's a reprogramming of your memory board, because you have to actually think about what it is that you're saying. You're actually considering someone else's perspectives, and a lot of people sometimes like, well, I don't have enough time to do that. Well, and that reminds me of like my childhood. My dad used to always tell me that you have to think before you speak, you know, because he would say I used to just blurt out, say whatever was on my mind. I know I can admit that I used to be that type of person. You know, I'm gonna say whatever, because the first thing that come to my head, you know, I was very good at that game where it's like they say a word, say the first thing that comes to your head. I'm very good at that, you know. But he told me you have to think before you speak, you know. And I never really understood that until I became a teenager. Well, when he was teaching me, going through the lessons of just adolescence or whatever, I did get it, you know. I came out on top, so I understood it as an adult, that, you know, I always think about what I'm gonna say, how's this gonna make this person feel, how's this person gonna perceive what I'm saying, how are they gonna be able to accept it, are they gonna be defensive, like, you know what I'm saying? And it's real quick. It's like the more you practice it, the easier it becomes a second nature, you know. So it's real quick. But at first, it could be, when you're going through the reprogramming stage, they say it could be frustrating, it could be time consuming, it could be emotional draining, you know. And these are all things that are dealing with, besides the time consuming, so the frustration and the emotionally draining, they're all things that have to do with emotions or feelings, you know. And I know this is probably kind of weird, yeah, I think, coming from a woman, because a lot of people say, oh, women are so emotional, which I do agree. Women are more emotionally connected with the spiritual realm, I will say that. But as far as how, you know, most men or whatever like to say it, in a sense, I don't, you know, it can be controlled if you're aware of what it is that you're doing, you know. And that goes into understanding of we are not the body but the spirit. But that's totally different. That's, you know, totally different. I want to get off on that. But again, so when you trust someone, you are more likely to be able to have a conversation with them based off of like active listening. You know, because you trust their opinion, you trust what it is that they have to say, you trust their feelings, you know. And we have to start looking at each other like that. We have to start looking at our nation like that, as humanity like that, so that we are able to have these type of conversations. We don't get into these little spats. We don't get into this little, you know, revenge. What you do to me, I'm going to do to you. Like this type of thing, you know. So to do that, we have to practice this, this active listening. We have to actually make it a habit. We have to make it something that we could do on a continuous basis. And the reason that I really wanted to hit this alone, because a lot of, since June, I believe it was, or even May, the quote unquote black owned businesses, y'all know why I say quote unquote, but you know what I'm saying, BOBs, have seen a spike and seen a rise in sales and everything. And then all you see on social media is about like their customer service and all these negative things, you know what I'm saying, that they say about other businesses and putting businesses down. And that just goes back to like saying, if you don't have nothing good to say, just don't say nothing at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, just leave it like that, because at the same time, people are on their own path and they have to grow and they have to learn, and we have to be able to help with it. When you have a trust in humanity and when you have a trust in your nation, you are more so to encourage or help or educate versus belittle. And that's where we have to get. We have to, if we want to see real prosperity amongst our nation, and it all goes into communication. And they were saying, I was listening to this podcast, and it was talking about how cell phones, and this kind of gets into my it's on Brother Johnson Bay, and this kind of gets into, gonna kind of take me into what I want to talk about in the second half of the show. But cell phones, they talk about how the invention of cell phones and the use of cell phones and social media has changed communication. You know what I'm saying? And we all know that really has, because even when it's kind of easier to talk to someone, but well, I wouldn't say easier, because if you don't practice, if you don't have an open mind, basically, and be able to see all perspectives, then your perspectives are always going to be filtered again back to your motherboard, your experiences, things that you experienced in the past and everything like that. So if you have a thing of avoidance in your past, you know what I'm saying, you're going to always, if someone, again, so let's think about cell phones. If you're in a relationship, right, and you have this avoidance, this is programmed in your memory board and your motherboard that we're talking about in your mind, right? This avoidance is part of your subconscious, basically. So if I'm your significant other, you text me, I don't respond within a time frame that you didn't made up in your mind, whatever you feel that is, you feel ignored, you feel dismissed, you feel you know what I'm saying, avoided, basically, and you act off that, because we react off of the emotions that we feel. Islam, social media killed relationships. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that, because it's like, again, it's all about your perspective. Like, I'm the type of person, I understand, I have a perspective of social media. It's entertainment, you have to do things, but at the same time, you don't have to be disrespectful to your mate, like, that's where things come in at. It's like, you should be able to do the same things with your mate on your social media that you would do with your mate off of social media. Like, I'm the same person whether I'm in a relationship or not in a relationship, and that's just point blank, period. And you can accept it for what it is, or you can't, or you don't have to block me. We don't got to follow each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that simple, but it's all about your perspective of it. But again, so with the communication with the cell phones, because with the cell phones, when I say you got to have an open mind and have different perspectives of what the cell phone is, because when you got text, now you're trying to interpret the tone of the text. Now you're trying to comprehend what the text said. And if you wasn't good at reader comprehension in school, you ain't just automatically became good at reading comprehension now as an adult. So again, it goes to a communication problem, a comprehension problem, everything what it is. And again, these are filtered through your motherboard by your experiences. So if you're not able to reprogram your motherboard, then you will always find yourselves in the same situations, just with different people. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not always part of the thing, one of the little things with communication, it was more so talking about in relationships, but we do it in a society too, is we feel like a victim, like somebody's doing something to me. Like, why me? Why did you do this to me? And or feel disrespected. You know what I'm saying? Like, disrespect is the main thing. I wouldn't even really say victimized. I would say disrespected, because that's the main one with me. Like, don't disrespect me. I don't want to feel disrespected. And if you disrespect me, I got to let you know that you disrespected me. And I'm working on it. God's still working on me. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I do self reflections, and I know what it is in myself. So when I'm put into situations, see, it's easy to say what you should be doing, or it's easy to even know what you should be doing. Like I, I don't know. I know I'm gonna have to take a break, so I didn't want to just keep talking. Okay, let me just finish this thought about the cell phones. And so we have to know the difference between giving someone their space, their rightful space, and avoidance. Also, the difference between communication and confrontation, because a lot of times we feel we get defensive in conversations because of the way that we're interpreting the tone, the way that we're perceiving what whoever has said or whatever. So if you don't have an open mind, if you don't understand the ideal of and what it really is trust, because just give them the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a saying, it's like, you don't trust is earned. You don't trust no one until they show you that you can trust them. And me personally, I feel like it's the other way around. I should trust you until you give me a reason not to trust you, if that makes sense, to a certain extent. Now, I ain't just saying you meet somebody and jump in a car with them and all this other kind of stuff or whatever. Like, no, I'm not saying that. I'm not no dummy. I'm just saying to a certain extent, when you have relationships, when you're building a relationship with somebody, when you're building friendships, when you have family, like these type of things or whatever, we should have the mindset of going into it of like, your trust is given until it's not. Until you show something to me, until you have a transgression against me, because that distrust affects the communication that we have with each other, and that's strangers and everything. So real quick, I'm just saying, and then my last little thought about these cell phones, right, is just because I own a cell phone does not mean I'm obligated to respond to you immediately. I'm not obligated to answer my cell phone just because I own one. You know what I'm saying? That's a concept that a lot of people got to understand. I'm not obligated to have myself tied to this device just because I own one. Point blank, period. It's bad for your eyes. Y'all don't know that? No, but I'm just saying, you gotta have to think that that's a different perspective. We have to, again, you gotta change the narrative, change your perspective of it. So, okay, I want to tell y'all guys, I had my first Karen moment, right? I was at Walmart, and this again goes the way that we talk to each other, humanity, and just the things that, it's just crazy. But I was in Walmart in line, standing in the customer service, like the return type area or whatever. And the cashier was like, probably like a young or late teens, early 20s, Hispanic little, lady. And so it was this European lady. She was trying to get a refund for something. And when I say this lady was just being so rude to this young lady, like, and I could see the young lady was just holding her composure. You could see it in her face, like just trying to hold herself together and everything. And it got to the point where I was just like, y'all know I don't know how to mind my business. That was not a skill that I was, I do know how to mind my business, but I feel like humanity is my business. So there it is. But so I was just like, dang. I was like, dang, excuse me, lady, you don't have to be so rude. Like, just because she just don't. Like, you don't have to be so rude. Like, I don't understand. If you having a bad day, whatever, you know what I'm saying? You still, nothing gives you the right to just be that rude to someone else. Like, make somebody else's day bad and everything like that. Then she was just making herself just sound very uneducated just by even the things that she was getting mad at and the things that she was, like, attacking this girl under, And so then she walked by me. She finished her little transaction. She walked by me, and I was just like, that was so rude. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes people just need to be called out on their behavior. Like, you just being rude for no reason. And then she gonna say, "Oh, F you, B." Really? Really, lady? Really? And so I'm next in line or whatever. So I just looked at her and I said, you so lucky that, I said, because I would really like beat you up in here. I didn't use those words, but trust, y'all can imagine the words that I used. But you know what I'm saying? I said, but it's just not even worth it. Like, just fix your attitude. Point blank, period. Because at the end of the day, it's more so, I guess, of a reflection of something that's going on with her on the outside. Like, we got to be able to understand that everything that someone is projecting out to outward is a direct reaction or reflection of things that's going on the inside of them, you know. So that's really why the people say, no, it's not you, it's me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really where that concept, you know, and everything comes from. But again, it's like just a holding people accountable without judgment, you know. Like, I called her a Karen, that's really just because I don't know her name, and that's to give you guys an idea of what it is. But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna judge. I really should have hit her with the God forgive her, for she knows not what she does, you know what I'm saying? Like, because that's really what you gotta do. Yeah. And that's what it's gonna take us into where it say the high road, you know what I'm saying? And living, y'all know I talk about frequencies and everything like that, you know. And it's like, sometimes people, and what I got wrote down here about the high road, and I'm probably just gonna give y'all a little sample of this. I'm not gonna go all the way into it, but because it's probably gonna take a lot more. But and I'll go into it next week. Just give me something to talk about. But I just had tired of being a bigger person. Like, that's what came to me when I was listening to it, and when I was writing it, because it's just like, sometimes you get tired of doing the right thing, or always being the one that has to do the right thing, or always having to be the one to take the high road. And that's the type of mentality and reprogramming that we are going to have to change. You know what I'm saying? Because you should never get tired of walking on the high road. You know, your goal should be to stay on the high road. Now, you ain't got to be on a high road on no high horse. That's somewhere I had heard it said. But your goal should be to be rolling on the high, you know, outside the highway. You know what I'm saying? But the high road, like, it's a smoother path. You know what I'm saying? And of life, you don't want to take all these scenic routes, and then you got to make a U-turns. You get rerouted this time. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how it go. So we have to strive to stay on this high road. And it's situations, when you make that declaration, the universe is going to test you. It's situations like the Karen inside the Walmart. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's situations like someone on your job doing something to discredit you, doing something to disrespect you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's all these things, they're going to start coming at you, because when you ask for something, when you really want to change something, the test is always going to come. Because how you know you got it if the test don't come? And even though you can never get tired of, because once you realize that once life has no trials and tribulations, it's over. You on to another one. But as long as you're in this realm of manifest, you're always going to have trials and tribulations. You got to learn how to run a 100-meter dash hurdle race. Hopping over them like they nothing, clearing them, not touching me. You know what I'm saying? I used to run track, so you know. But I'm just saying, that's the analogy that you have to look at it, or whatever, because they're always gonna come. The thing is to be prepared for them. That's staying on a high road. That's realizing. That's doing self-reflection. You know what I'm saying? That's working on ineffective communication. You know what I'm saying? Like, taking an evaluation of yourself to see what it is that you can do to improve your relationship amongst humanity. Don't always look at it as something outside of you. The first place that when you start going through things, or feel like situations, you're in a why me type situations, are you always finding yourself in a why me situation or whatever, you should take time to do some self-reflection and see what am I doing? What can I learn from what's going on for me? Especially when you start going, because then once you do that, then you will learn how to prepare for the test before the test actually comes. See, life is crazy like that, because you get the test and then you got to learn the lesson. But if you can learn the lessons up front and be prepared for the test, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got to worry about tripping over no hurdles. You just running that mug smooth in a whole 12.9, 12.5. I don't know. I don't even know what's a good time in hurdles, but that sounds pretty fast. That's fast in a 100-meter dash, so it got to be fast in hurdles. But okay, so I got to take a break. I hope you guys can bear with me these 90 seconds so we can pay a couple of bills, and then I'll be right back with the second half of the show. And you don't want to miss it, so stay tuned.
Hey, national recording artist Carl Rowland, and I am a proud supporter of KUAW's Summer Fun Drive, and I've got something special in store for you. So come on and join me. Head to KUAW.org and donate now. There is no minimum, but your support of $5, $25, or even $100, it doesn't matter. Whatever you choose will support the community station that gives back to you through knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. And just for being a value listener and supporter, I'd like to give to you my complimentary 10-song smooth CD music pack featuring my new hit single, A Natural High. So don't hesitate. Donate now. And hey, it's even tax deductible. And did I mention I'll be giving to you my 10-song smooth CD music pack? You can't beat that hookup. So I'm going to go ahead now and thank you for your donation.
Be sure and include your email address and we will send you information to receive your 10-song CD pack. Thank you for supporting KUAW Radio.
Okay. And we're back. I appreciate you guys being patient and letting us, again, we are having that summer fundraiser. So if it's on your heart to place a seed here with KUAW, please do so. And we'll definitely appreciate it. I thank you in advance. Again, if you have an event or a business that you would like sponsor here on KUAW, make sure to email us at kuaw985@gmail.com. We do check our emails, so we love to, we are the community radio station, so we love to have the community involved. So make sure you shoot us an email. Okay. So the second half of my show, I want to talk to the ladies and the men too. So there was a video. If I don't know if you guys watched the Shade Room or whatever. Erica Mena married to Safari, which is Nicki Minaj's ex, and things like that or whatever. Right? They had a video. They were dancing in their front yard, you know, just having fun with their little baby in their hands and everything like that. So the video got on the Shade Room. You know, there's always these social media lurkers and comments and everything. And there was a lot of people saying, "Oh, he's corny, he's lame, you know, this, and that." And so it sparked me to thinking, why is it that we find it so hard to accept people in general, not just men, not just our mates, but people in general for their authentic, true self? You know what I'm saying? It's like we're so judgmental. And when we talk about the ladies, you know, and I started off addressing it to the ladies because this is my relationship half of the show, but it's like we're turning into this generation of females that doesn't have a lot of modesty about themselves, don't have a lot of respect about themselves, have a lot of basically post traumatic stress from various relationships, various hurts, various heartbreaks. Y'all know that your heart can really break. Yeah, it's crazy. We had to talk about it one day, but it's an article and everything all out there. But yeah, I mean, you don't die, but I'm just saying it happens. And so you're dealing with all these emotions. All these things are being programmed into your motherboard of your computer. They're filtering your life, filtering how you address further relationships, how you look at people of the opposite sex. Period. You know what I'm saying? And it's like this generation has been coming up with the ideal of you want a thug, you want you know, the happy, respectable guy, the guy that loves his wife, the guy that loves his family, the guy that loves life, like Safari. Like, if you really know who Safari is, like, you know what type of person Safari is. You know, he's always been looked at as corny. Even by other men, he's looked at as corny. But how is it corny to love yourself? And another thing that we don't even realize while we're jumping in these relationships or whatever, and why it's important or whatever, if you don't love yourself, you can't love anyone else, not properly. And then the thing about it is, another thing that happens is, we think love is a feeling. Love is not a feeling. You know what I mean? Love is an action. Love is what you do. You know, like, just how you think, how you move, like, everything is kind of like based off love. Even how you treat other people. You know, just like a love for humanity. Like, if I don't want to kill an animal, if I swerve just not trying to hit a squirrel, that's a love for humanity. Like, it's like a feeling, like this intimate feeling or anything like that or whatever. So if you don't have this type of love for yourself, like, a lot of people have a lot of issues. They call them childhood traumas. You know, they feel like they've done all these kind of experiences that's kind of shaped their motherboard. So they have all these filters and, you know, built up things. They care about what other people think. You know, they've been programmed by society to think, you know, really have a, I don't even know how to explain it, but really have a need to be liked, to be accepted, you know, amongst society, you know, just from your friends. You know, you don't want to, you kind of, a lot of people used to call it faking the front. You know what I'm saying? Like, even a lot of artists and stuff do it in their music. They talk this life, they like they're in the streets or in the thugs and all this other kind of stuff or whatever, when they went to, you know, private school and stuff or whatever. And but it's a need for acceptance. Really, that's what it is. It's a need for acceptance. And they are seeking validation. You know, when you really just love yourself and love who you are and do what it is that feeds your soul, so it feeds your spirit, and do what it is that makes you happy and the people that you care about, you know, happy around you, you know, because really, I wouldn't even say it like that, because you can't make anyone else happy. People have to be happy. Happiness is something that comes from self. You know, you can't really look at, people should add, I guess, to your happiness, but they should never be able to control the whole or control the entirety. Like, you always have to be accountable for your own happiness. And that's another thing that we have in relationships, but that's neither here nor there. If you know what it is, a lot of people don't even know what makes them happy. They're out here just trying a lot of different things or whatever, trying to seek happiness or trying to find happiness or whatever. That's the same thing, but trying to seek happiness, and they really don't have a clear understanding. That's where, like, meditation and all that type of stuff comes in, because you're able to quiet your mind and, you know, go into self-reflection and really and this is the type of work that you really should do after every relationship, even before, even friendship, not even just an intimate relationship. I mean, friendships, you know, just like, you know, all kind of, you know, shoot, every aspect of what a relationship could be. Sometimes when we hear relationship, we automatically think intimate relationship and everything like that, but no, just any type of relationship, a work relationship, whatever. So we have to learn how to basically find what that is and be able to stand on our truths. And we cannot really have to stop judging other people. And again, we really should seek someone that has this type of mentality, because when someone loves, like I said, if someone loves themselves, they're going to be able to love you properly. And we will be able to get back to a strong family dynamic in amongst our nation. I know I talk about that all the time. It's like beating a dead horse, but it's really important to me, to be honest, just because that's what builds wealth. That's what's going to keep our nation moving. That's what's going to progress our nation forward, you know, so that we can get up out of the conditions that we find ourselves in today. Is strong core family, you know, family values. It was something else that I had written down on here that wanted to talk about. I think it might be on this page though. Just because, I wanted to say, just because a lot of these things don't seem easy, like how we were talking about on the first half, just the reprogramming, just the effective listening, just the self reflection, even reflecting on your current relationships, and how you view other people, and how we, when we look at, as females, when we look at the opposite, sex or whatever, opposite energy, that's really what I'm gonna say, the opposite energy, because you really have both energies inside of you, but the opposite, the species or whatever, there is, we have to have a certain, I guess this goes back into when I said that women are more emotionally connected. I feel like we have to have more patience and understanding, and necessarily a attitude, a more understanding attitude and perspective. We got to be able to see it with a open mind and be able to see it from other perspectives, because I feel like we are, and I mean, I know it is, because you got to understand, when you think about your mother, your mother is the first woman in your life. Most children had their mother, you know what I'm saying, growing up, or a mother figure. They look for a mother figure, for at least the first couple of years of their life. So mothers are like the first teachers. They, you're taught in the womb, and so I think that continues into adulthood when we find ourselves in these intimate relationships as well. If you find someone that is worthy of going through this journey of life with, you do have to be committed and patient and understanding that you might have to not necessarily teach a few things, but reveal. Is that a better word? That mean the same thing? You're a teacher. Do that mean the same thing? Teach and reveal? Okay, so reveal some certain things to the opposite sex, because they are not they're not as emotionally connected. Well, okay, so I would stick with reveal, just for the simple fact that deep within our souls, there's really nothing that we do not know. Being connected to the source, being connected to the force of life, being connected to the creator, being connected to God, there's really nothing that our souls don't really know. We just have to be like shown it, like revealed. It has to just be revealed to us. That's like it say, you know the truth when you feel it in your spirit, or when you hear it, or whatever. It's certain things that you can feel, deja vu, things like that. You really never forget anything. It's always deep within inside you, but sometimes things have to be revealed and pulled to the surface. And I feel like as women, that is part of our responsibility in finding a mate, just because we do have not deeper, but more not even complex. I don't even know how I was stating, because I don't want to seem like I'm bashing it or just saying they don't have it, but it's just a different type of connection. It's like we're all, and the thing about it is, it's so hard to really explain it like that, just for the simple fact that people get defensive. Like people get defensive, like, oh, you down in us, are you down in men, are you up and winning, or saying one's better than the other, anything like that, which really is not. It's like the yin and the yang, like one does not work without the other. You just have to be able, when we were talking about a couple of weeks ago, but you got to be able to know your role. You got to be able to play your part, but you have to understand what your part is. We have to have a more understanding, you know what I'm saying, with men. Sometimes we expect things that not necessarily that they're incapable of giving, but they are ignorant to, in a sense. And I guess it's like you hear they say, oh, I'm not trying to raise no man, or anything like that. And I don't want to think of it as this is about to get me in so much trouble, but I more so think of it as like training a puppy. I already knew, but hear me out. First of all, dogs are one of the most loyal creatures you could ever find. And not just saying that men are dogs or anything like that. I'm not trying to say it like that or whatever. But I'm saying, as far as the programming and everything, like of how you teach a puppy, it's kind of like the same thing. And it kind of goes vice versa as well, because I feel like men have to be able to communicate. It goes back to effective listening and effective communication, how we were talking about at the show, but they have to be able to communicate what they want in a mate as well. And women have to be able to be receptive of that. They can't get defensive. Oh, well, go get you somebody that's gonna do that. Or go, you know what I'm saying? You know how they do. Oh, you ain't changing this who I am. Accept me for who I am. Like, everybody just had these, like, type of attitudes or whatever. Got to change their perspective. It goes into effective communication. Again, it goes into communication versus confrontation. It's like when someone is speaking to you, if they're explaining or expressing. See, a lot of men, if you get a man that's willing to express his emotions or feelings like openly to you, you gotta hold on to that and think and really know that that's kind of precious, because from a young age, men are taught to suppress their feelings. Think about it, what you do with your sons. Oh, don't cry. Boys ain't supposed to cry. You're supposed to be tough. You know what I'm saying? Don't be I don't know if I can say that on the radio, but no, my uncle used to say it's really a piece of wood. You know what I'm saying? The P word. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The real definition of it is a piece of wood or something like that. But they tell them, you know what I'm saying, don't be soft, don't be this, don't cry. You know what I'm saying? Boys are supposed to be tough or whatever. So they have this suppression of feelings already programmed into their motherboard. So again, in relationships, when we're trying to go through the unprogramming stage, because let's be real, you can't be like that and have no wife. You just can't. You know what I'm saying? You cannot become one with a person if you don't know how to express your oneness. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know how to express what it is, if you don't know how to recognize it, if you don't know how to see it, you ain't gonna be able to find no wife. So yeah. And then it goes into you gotta be I lost my train of thought in the middle of me saying what I was saying, but you have to be able to hear it and not be defensive or think that someone is downplaying you or anything like that. And that goes both ways. And so that's what I'm saying. Since they have to, with this reprogramming, it becomes frustrating. It becomes too time consuming. It becomes emotionally draining. So what you do, you in a relationship, no matter if you got kids, no matter what the circumstances are, you feel like, oh, this is not fitting for me. And I'm not just saying just stay in no relationship just to be in no relationship or anything like this, but I'm just saying understand the dynamics and the roles of relationships. So when you get into a relationship, you're willing to put in the work. People, I keep seeing this meme that keep going around. It's like, why do relationships not last like our grandparents' relationships used to last? But that's because we don't put any effort. We don't put any work into understanding each other. We don't put any work into properly communicating with someone as a us. You know what I'm saying? When you're in a communication with like your spouse or your friend or just like if you would be with your parent or, you know what I'm saying, someone like that, there's a certain trust in that conversation. And when and you have to be able to also, like I said, be open-minded and look at things for different perspectives. Because if you always feel like it's ego that makes us feel like we don't have anything to work on ourselves, to feel like that it's always someone else, that's ego that does that. And if you're able to get past your ego, then you will be able to have stronger, lasting relationships. If we could learn to just be able to properly communicate what it is that we need to do. So, and we be willing to work through, because if you have an understanding that the reprogramming that's going on with a person, with a relationship, they might not ever even been in a relationship like this. They might not even ever had someone that was willing to do the things that properly make someone feel secure, I guess would be the word. You know what I'm saying? Secure enough in a relationship. And desired, You know, I feel like desired is a big one. You know, like the things you always think that there's you can always go get someone else, or there's always something better or whatever. It's like a microwavable, you know, and we got to be able to want to bake the potato. We got to be able to want to put in some work in the things that we do, and communication and comprehension is the biggest one. And also just being able to not judge. Like you should be able to hold someone accountable for things that you feel, or how you feel, or what you're trying to get across, you know, or what you need from someone, without being judgmental, you know. And that's something that we, you know, has to be communicated just by the, you know, I feel you, I understand what you're saying, or I hear just like reassurance, you know. And sometimes you get into that attitude, it's like, I shouldn't have to do all that, you should just know. Well, that goes into how bad do you want it, just like we was talking about to the police. It's like, which one means more to you, you know. And that's really the one thing that, you know, we really have to understand and think about. And it's not really too time consuming, because really time is an illusion. A lot of people say, oh, that's too much work, I don't got time to be doing all that, I ain't got time to be a lot of people call work walking on eggshells. And I'm not saying walk on eggshells, that's not what I'm saying, but it's a way to be an effective listener and an effective communicator as well, when we go into those things. And again, it's not just our romantic relationships, it's our friendships, it's our you know, partnerships, work relationships, all these type of things. We have to learn how to be on the high road. You know, we have to not be tired of taking the high road. Just like I stated earlier, it's like we have to, and that goes into, we have to make that a part of all, you know, a part of the whole, a part of who we are, so that it's it turns into the program, the subconscious programming in your memory board. So it's like you don't even have to think about it. It's like breathing. You know, we're not sitting here thinking about, okay, inhale, okay, exhale, but we're doing it as we're talking, as we're walking. You know what I'm saying? Like, we do it to sustain life. We do it. It's a part of all. It's a part of the whole. We have to make staying on a high road the same way. We have to make effective listening the same way. And again, we have to understanding and open-mindedness. You know, all those things go into it, because it really just breaks down to, again, love, because love is not a feeling, it's an action, and we should be love. We should be love manifest. And really all that means is considering other people's feelings, or other people's perspectives, not feelings, but other people's perspectives, respecting other people's perspectives in all our relationships. So I appreciate you guys listening. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm gonna get ready to get up out of here. And so just real quick, ye are the children of one Father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother have given ye suck. Let the bonds of affection, therefore, unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in our Father's house. And when you separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity. And prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother's in adversity, assist him. If thy sister's in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy Father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other. Peace. I'm a minute early, but...
Hey, this is national recording artist Carl Rowland, and I am a proud supporter of KUAW's Summer Fun Drive, and I've got something special in store for you. So come on and join me. Head to KUAW.org and donate now. There is no minimum, but your support of $5, $25, or even $100, it doesn't matter. Whatever you choose will support the community station that gives back to you through knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. And just for being a value listener and supporter, I'd like to give to you my complimentary 10-song smooth CD music pack featuring my new hit single, A Natural High. So don't hesitate. Donate now. And hey, it's even tax deductible. And did I mention I'll be giving to you my 10-song smooth CD music pack? You can't beat that hookup. So I'm going to go ahead now and thank you for your donation.
Be sure and include your email address, and we will send you information to receive your 10-song CD pack. Thank you for supporting KUAW Radio.